Hey guys, John V from PhoneArena here. Right now you're watching our video review of the Asus Transformer Book Trio. As its name implies, it features three distinctive modes. The first one is called tablet mode, and you can use it like a tablet. It's running Android. The second one's called laptop mode, and comes included with this keyboard dock. So when you attach the tablet, it becomes a laptop. And basically with this, you could run either Windows 8.1 or Android, and you could switch between the two at any given time. The last mode is called PC station mode, where you could use the keyboard dock separately. So basically connect this to a monitor or a television via HDMI, and from there it becomes like a PC desktop. The design isn't terribly different from other tablets we've seen from Asus, but the nice thing here is that there's a little bit of a premium element with its design. In fact, it employs a metallic casing. From the look and feel of it, it's brushed aluminum. Of course, it gives it a lot of sturdiness. It doesn't have a super high resolution, but nevertheless, 1080p works with the tablet. It's effective enough to make out even the tiniest of things, thanks to its pixel density count of 190 pixels per inch. For an IPS LCD panel, its color reproduction is a little bit more on the saturated side, but we could actually adjust it with the splendid application. So you can move around, so you could change the color temperature. One thing we notice that it has a very weak brightness output, so under outdoor conditions with the sun present, it's very difficult making it out. In the rear, along the top right corner, we have its dedicated power button and also the volume controls the raise, and have pretty good feedback. All of its ports are located on the bottom side of the tablet, so they include things like the micro SD card slot. You have a micro USB port to charge its internal battery and also have data connectivity. You have the slots for the hinges. You have the docking port right here, and you have a 3.5mm headset jack. So this is the keyboard dock that comes included with the purchase. Now, not only does it give us a full QWERTY keyboard, an extended battery life, a trackpad, and some additional ports, but interestingly enough, you need it to run Windows 8.1. Similar to other laptops from Asus, it has chiclet style keys, so it's spacious, raised, has a good travel and response, so typing's not a problem with it. Removing the tablet from the dock is fairly simple. All you gotta do is press down the button right here and it unhinges it, and you could take it off. So on the right side of the tablet, we have a micro HDMI out port, a mini display port, USB 3.0, and also the proprietary charging port. While the left edge is home to nothing but the 3.5mm headset jack and another USB 3.0 port. As its name implies, it has three specific modes. The first one here is the Android tablet mode. So basically, you take it from the dock. By itself, it's a full running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean tablet, so you have access to the Google Play Store and all the advantages with Android. Unfortunately, with just tablet mode, you're only running Android. There's no Windows 8.1. The second mode, though, is arguably the most useful one, just because with laptop mode, we're able to actually use either Android or Windows 8.1. Now, it's in this form with the tablet attached to the keyboard dock, and with a press button, we can instantly jump between the two platforms. Now, it's fairly quick, but every now and then when we take it out of sleep mode and we try to switch back and forth, there might be a little bit of a delay in running Windows, but Android is pretty much locked and ready to go right from the gate. And finally, we have the PC station mode, which is also an interesting one just because you could independently use Android and Windows 8.1 simultaneously. Now, when you detach the tablet, you have the full Android experience running on the tablet, but the keyboard dock itself is actually still powered on. It's housing all the internals to run Windows 8.1, meaning it has the Core i7 processor, the 4th generation one, the 500 gigabytes of hard drive space, and 4 gigabytes of RAM. The tablet is powered by an Intel Atom processor with 2 gigabytes of RAM and features 16 gigabytes of hard drive, but this is still running, so basically we could connect this to a monitor or a television via the micro HDMI output or the mini display port, and essentially turns it into a mini PC of some sort. There's nothing really new with the Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean experience of the tablet. We've seen it before in other Asus tablets. So it has the same multitasking element with the multitasking widgets in tow. And yeah, of course, you have access to the Google Play Store. So there's a lot of tablet optimized applications that are available for it. Likewise, we could say the same thing about the Windows experience here, just because it's stock. Now, out of the box, it was running Windows 8, but we managed to update it to Windows 8.1, so there was a little bit of time in downloading, installing it, but it's finally here. And the nice thing about this is that it's a full desktop OS, so you have access to the desktop. You could install legacy software, so for anyone into video editing or photo editing, even word processing, you have the full advantage here, and you have a true multitasking experience with it. Like I said, the Android tablet is running a dual-core Intel Atom processor with 2 GB of RAM. Now, it's effective for basic things like surfing the web, opening up applications, but for more processor-intensive stuff like 3D gaming or even some photo editing, we do notice just some choppiness, general choppiness and sluggishness with its performance. On the flip side, the 4th generation Intel Core i7 processor with 4 GB of RAM with the Windows part is exceptionally fast with its performance. Whether it's simple task, basic, complex, it's able to run in an effective manner with very minimal slowdown. When it comes to playing music, we have just the stock options with both. So that means it's the Google Play Music application with Android. And on the flip side with Windows, you're going to have the Xbox Music Hub for that. Now, the tablet portion itself features dual speakers. They're placed on the left and right sides. And the keyboard dock has its own set as well. But when you're running Android, it only emits the audio through the tablet speakers. Whereas with Windows, if you're playing music through the Windows player, you're going to get it through the keyboard dock. Unfortunately though, the audio output with the tablet is rather weak in tone. High definition videos play flawlessly, but between the two, you're going to get more codec support with the Windows side, just because with the Android experience, it only supports MPEG-4 and H.264 out of the box. If you're going to be shooting a lot of photos, you want to stick with the Android camera app just because it features a lot more manual controls and shooting modes such as HDR and even panoramic. Just because with the Windows 8.1 camera app, it only allows us to use the front-facing camera. Now, the camera is positioned in an awkward place here with the tablet. It's at the bottom left corner, so whenever we're holding it, we tend to cover it up with our pinky. The quality from its rear camera isn't that bad at all. It's definitely tolerable. Now, the best results are produced outdoors where there's plenty of sun. You're going to get some average looking details. The colors sometimes tend to look a little bit on the bland side, but under indoor conditions where artificial lighting is present, you see a little bit more saturation. Under lower lighting conditions, we see a dip in details, of course, softer tones, and more noise in the shots. At the same time, it records some decent looking 1080p videos. It captures smoothly at 29 frames per second. Details are average looking. The exposure adjustment on the fly is gradual and mostly clear audio. The thing that we notice the most is that it lacks continuous autofocus, which means that we gotta constantly tap the screen to adjust it. Battery life is just utterly disappointing with the tablet. Now, we use it only with Android, so tablet mode, not relying on the keyboard dock for any additional juice. We ran our custom battery benchmark test, and with that, it barely got close to 3 hours of usage from a full charge, which is below average compared to its rivals. Now, if you use the keyboard dock, it's rated to provide an additional 8 hours of juice. It begs the question, who really needs this? It's an all-in-one device. You have a laptop, tablet, a mini desktop of sorts. So if you're a heavy user, a power user, or someone who likes to work on a lot of productivity software on the road, this is the ideal device for you. However, with its retail cost of $1,500, it's pretty expensive, and our particular unit has that Intel Core i7 processor with 4 GB of RAM, the 500 GB hard drive, and a tablet sports the Intel Atom processor with 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of storage. The cost itself is a big issue, and when you think about it, you could probably still spend less money picking up a separate Android tablet and a reasonably spec'd Windows 8 laptop. So if you guys want to learn more about the Asus Transformer Book Trio, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. It's John V. Thanks for watching.